Good morning, this is July 5th. I'm doing an update on Jenny's garden. I'm going to erase the previous video if you have already seen it because it had too many blurry parts and replace it with this one. So, starting with the roses, here you can see it's a new addition. Their wonderful aroma, absolutely spectacular. They're acclimating. Still lots of new blooms. She has some sweet pea here. It's supposed to be blue, but it's purple. And another rose bush here. Lovely. We've been eating a lot of raspberries. It's raspberry season, so we're really enjoying it. This is a black raspberry. It's lovely. Nice, wonderful fruit. Now here she has a beautiful flower, a lily. Stunning color. Absolutely gorgeous. The second one, the first one already died off. Lots and lots of blackberries. She's gonna have blackberry galore this year. The grapes are not doing too well this year. There's only a few that have formed on this particular grape vine, and the others did not form at all. So, but hopefully it will deter the people who were stealing her grapes the last few years. They would strip them. Alright, so I'm gonna transition inside. Okay, so starting here with the cucumbers, you can see lots of wonderful growth. Cucumbers really took off. They're climbing all over the place. There's lots of new cucumbers forming. They have stretched. You can see across, under, they're everywhere. This one is almost ready to be picked, and they're going out. Now next to it, you have this wonderful chili pepper, and followed by another chili pepper, and tomato plants. These are cherry tomatoes. Again, absolutely lovely. Look at this truss, loaded. Same thing here. It's loaded with fruit. Now, these are the beans that got cut up by the groundhog. It's kind of hard to see here, but you can see the young beans formed. So the plant is thriving. There's lots of beans, and again, the cucumbers are trying to escape. This is what I love, the full trusses on tomatoes. It just makes me so happy. More beans. Some of the tomatoes are way up high. I have no idea how she's going to support them. So we have a few tomatoes that are really large. It's kind of hard to see them as all of the greenery. It is like a forest in here, but those tomatoes that I'm trying to show you are really, really large. And again, more beans. You can see they're really good. Another day or so we'll be able to pick these. There is another bed I'm going to show in a few minutes that are really loaded with beans. There is a tomato plant here downstairs. Also large tomatoes. More beans. And back there, let's see if I can get to them. So here's a nice large tomato. There's some beans still blooming in full bloom. And even a couple of green peas. These green peas are also blooming and forming. But I want you to see these tomatoes. They're very delicious. It's kind of hard to see them with all of the greenery here. But yummy. We already have been eating them, so they're wonderful, delicious tomatoes. So let me pull back here. Again, it is a food forest here, which is exactly how I like it. Lovely. So now I'm switching to the side next to it. Have these wonderful tomatoes also fully loaded. I mean, look at this truss. It just does not get much better. Lots of peppers formed. Lovely strawberries. Underneath there is another big pepper. All of these tomatoes are thriving. There is a lot of them. Now there is a variety that I brought here. I don't know what they are, but if anyone recognizes it, please let me know. These were cherry tomatoes I got from a store. It was Wild Wonders, one of the assemblies. I just took up tomatoes and I cut them up and I planted them. And this is what I got. Loaded trusses. If you recognize any of one of these types, please let me know. But they are absolutely amazing. They're so delicious. Now here is the cherry pepper. They're so cute, round and loaded with peppers. There are actually 3 plants here. They're all loaded with peppers. Absolutely wonderful. Now we're coming up on one of my favorite plants here. This tomato right here, it's kind of sprawling, but what I want to show you are the trusses on this tomato. There are about 15 trusses on it and they're loaded. So many tomatoes on this one plant. It's just unbelievable. It really does not get much better. And some more strawberries. We've really been enjoying them. And here is another look at this hybrid or this cherry tomato that I planted. Again, if you recognize it, please let me know what type it is. So I'm gonna switch to another bed. Stand by, please. So now I'm looking at the bed with all of the potatoes, and there are a few tomato plants here. You can see they already also formed. Lovely, beautiful color. Absolutely stunning. Back here there's an eggplant and some squashes and some peppers on that side. The potatoes are beginning to lay down, but they're really tall, so I don't know if it's hard to show you the actual size, but right now I'm standing next to these potatoes and they're higher than my waist. So we have some beets out there in between. Jen is utilizing every square inch of the place. There's another really nice beet bush. On this side we have a few more tomatoes and some squashes. So here's a squash next to a tomato plant. They're changing color already, so this is this is another very prolific tomato bush. You can see they're changing color here again. And another squash that has gone into bloom. So lots of productivity here happening. Now if I go a little bit further along this bed, I want to show you some of her peppers. I think these are the cayenne peppers. Lovely. There are so many of them. These plants are loaded in peppers. I mean, really, I am so envious of this particular plant. Absolutely fantastic. Some rosemary, more tomatoes, some more squashes and more peppers. So now I transition to this bed. This is the bed that has all of the supports. She has another patch of squash. Another squash is planted along the drip line that Peter laid down. You can see she threw some of the mushrooms that had spoiled. Hopefully the mycelium from them, the bacteria, will help enrich the soil. Looks like asparagus is coming back up. Lovely to see it. It finally revived. For a while we thought it was gone. Nice tomatoes. Lots of strawberries. Huge amount of sorrel. I think her sorrel is on steroids actually. It's growing so fast. Here's a little bit of the parsley that woke up. So she's going to have some parsley here. Parsley patch. More tomatoes. The remnants of garlic. Most of the garlic has been pulled already. Some pole beans have been stuck here and there. This looks like either Swiss chard or a different type of beets. Yellow. Lovely plant. And more strawberries and green beans. Now this bed is what I call a bed for the giants. Even though the bed is raised, there is corn in it. I'm going to try and show you just how high it goes. It's kind of hard to show the perspective here, but that corn is up over 8 feet tall now. It's ridiculously high. Now she has alpine strawberries here. Delicious. Some beans climbing. There's a tomato plant. Lovely. Full production. There is a menagerie of plants here. There is some beets. There is the eggplant. She actually already has eggplants formed. Let's see if I can get to it. It's on the farther side. There we go. You can see them. There is a pepper, and there is a lot of carrots all over between the stalks of corn. Lots of carrots. There is also some kind of melon that's getting ready to bloom. So beautiful plants, and a tomato plant right next to it. So I'm going to transition to this bed. This is the bed that got really ravaged by the groundhog, and it used to be under the white cover if you remember my previous videos. As you can see, all of the beans bounce back. They're really bushy, growing like crazy. Most of all, they're in full production mode. We've been eating them. Take a look at these. Wonderful beans. There's so many of them, really. And it's hard to see because of the foliage, but there are so many beans here. And they're all over the place. Look at this, they're loaded. Here's a good example. All the beans are loaded. We just picked them yesterday, and in another 8 hours or so they're going to be ready to pick again. She has a nice celery stalk. Lovely. More beans. The cabbage has got hit as soon as you remove the protective cover, and you can see the devastation from the cabbage worm. It just is horrible. It's really devastated all of the brassicas. So more beans here. Look at this. It's loaded. I honestly don't know how they're gonna eat that many beans, but hey, that's on them. So this bed is thriving despite the attack by the groundhog. Yeah. One last potting shot at all of the beans here. So I'm gonna transition to the outside and go around the house, and I'll see you on the other side. I'm gonna stop here for a second. Just got beautiful berries and gorgeous lilies here. Really lovely. So I'm gonna transition out here, walking around to the small garden. Here is another pretty, gorgeous lilies. I think these are the day lilies. Here is a beautiful blueberry bush that she has. The birds are of course stripping them, but you can see the size of the blueberries. And some of them are beginning to turn, so it's almost blueberry time for them. But look at the size of these. They're lovely. I mean, really huge, huge blueberries. Look at that. They're at least twice as big as the ones that I was growing by my house. So I'm now inside the small garden, the side garden. There is a remnant of lettuces and the beans that got really attacked. You can see they're beginning to bounce back, but they got really ravaged by the groundhogs. The next bed is loaded with raspberries. Absolutely lovely, sweet as can be. It's hard to show just how many of them there are here. I mean, the bushes are loaded. Lots and lots and lots of raspberries here. And this is just one side. So if I go, there is another pretty flower. It's absolutely stunning. There is some currants on that side. There's more currants here. It's hard to show you, but look at this. Loaded, absolutely loaded, and they're wonderful. So juicy and large. They're gorgeous. More beans here. And that was kale. And look at these raspberries. I can't get on the other side because they're kind of too heavy, so the level they support, but look how loaded they are with fruit. It is amazing. And look at the size of the fruit as well. It's incredible, really. Look at this. We've been enjoying them, picking every year, but every day. But it really is hard to keep up with that much fruit. with that many berries. Alright, so I'm gonna get out of here and transition to the patio. So here's a view of the patio from the outside. I'm gonna go around it past the peach tree. All the peaches unfortunately have dropped. It's sad, but there is some sweet William growing here. There we go. You can see it a little bit better. Lovely. I don't know what this is, but it's beautiful. There's lots of mint balm growing all around the property here. Some beautiful flowers there, gorgeous colors. Now here's another flower here. Look at this yellow color, stunning. It is one of my favorite trees. It has several types of pears. You can see the pears are being protected. But you can also see the size difference, so let me show you. Here is one. You can see how much space there is left on this protection, as opposed to this one that's almost out of size. So this pear is growing really fast. Hopefully this year we actually will get to try some of them. Alright, so back there are the nectarine and the apple trees. Walking around here. There's the harbor. Tons of blackberries. I mean, seriously, look at it. They're still about to go into bloom. Lovely. And she has a ton of pots here. All the pots are planted. This is sage. There are herbs all around there. Lovely. Okay, let's see if I can get to it. There is a tricolor sage, also lovely. And here is some thyme. And more thyme. This looks like oregano. Yep, Greek oregano. And another basket of thyme. There's this beautiful flower next to it. So I'm going to go around back here. Here is a tomato plant. And here's another one. These are wild tomatoes, or at least so Jenny tells me. They are loaded with these small, tiny tomatoes, but their branches are full, so loaded trusses. Lots and lots and lots of tomatoes. And there is bigger tomatoes back there, and another herbal box, and that's all thyme. It is alpine strawberry. Another large tomato. So on this side we have lovely cucumbers. They don't like the heat, but you can see the cucumbers on them. So they're doing really, really well. And she stuck a few carrots inside. Here's the fishes. These are Peter's koi fish. They have a lot of babies, and you can actually see babies here. Look how many there are. They have over a dozen small ones. They're definitely way overcrowded at this point. I need to be transplanted into the other pond. So another cucumber plant here. There are two of them. And another pond with koi fish. I think they're expecting food. Alright, so I'm going to transition now. Actually, I'm going to do a little detour. Show you this wonderful lily. There's more lilies over there. Looks like I skipped a couple of beautiful plants here. There's another tomato plant. Look at these. Look at the colors. Spectacular. Alright, so I'm gonna go up to the patio. I'll show you some of the things that she's growing here. This is her nursery. She's either nursing them to health or growing new ones. So here is a dahlia. This looks like some kind of berry bush. Now this tree is persimmon tree. It's hard to see the persimmons on it. I'm going to try and zoom in. You can see the persimmon. Here's my mulberry. It was sick for a while, but it's coming back. All of the new growth, new leaves, so very healthy. It looks like my grape vine is not doing too great, but it is climbing. And this fig was very, very sick for a while, but it bounced back. So some flat beans. There is a flower hiding. I almost missed it last time. Look at this beauty. Is that gorgeous or what? So here is a columnar apple. It was all but dead. Another grape vine that I brought, also doing very well. And the radishes, the French radishes that are in there, Jenny decided to let them go into bloom and go into seed so she can harvest seeds. And more fig tree, doing really well. And there is another pear tree back there. So I'm going to transition from here onto that other patio, and I'll see you there in a second. So as I'm about to transition, I want to show you some more lilies. They're beautiful. And there's another beautiful lily over here. This one is almost done blooming, but you can still see the color, and the others have not opened yet, but they will very shortly. As well as this little fella. Lovely. Alright, so I'm going to transition up the ramp here. This is another nursery here. So she has these zinnias. Here's the white one. But look at the color on this one. Stunning. Purples and yellows and lilacs. Another white one. This plant we thought was dead, but it bounced back. Now this is a new addition she just got. So lots of beautiful pollinator plants. These started blooming, lovely, absolutely gorgeous colors. My pineapple is beginning to recover. There is a lot of new growth. You can see new leaves. Got paid a visit by the raccoon today, so you can see a lot of dirt strewn around. Now this beautiful plant, this beauty, is passion fruit. Look at the leaves. I mean, seriously, huge, huge, huge leaves. It's finally recovering. Lots of verdant growth. Very healthy, gorgeous. So hopefully next year it will actually produce passion fruit. And there is another grapevine on it, or coexisting. Now here is my babies. This is watermelon. I have 3 watermelons in here. This is the size of watermelons that I should have at my house, but as you saw, I have a wrong soil for them. But these are doing very well. They're climbing. They set out a lot of runners. And it looks like there's going to be a brand new watermelon here. Let's see if I can zoom into it. There we go. And there's another watermelon forming on this side. Right there. So hopefully we will have some watermelons, but they're definitely doing much better than the ones over by my house. I'm happy that at least here I can see some progress. I can grow them. Now there is another pineapple. It was also all but dead, but you can see new leaves. It's growing really well. There is the dragon fruit, 2 vines. There is a pepper here, and this is turmeric. Beautiful plant, lovely, 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 lovely. And on that note, last view at the backyard, and out onto the other side toward the patio. In this peaceful surrounding, I say goodbye to you until next time, and thank you for watching.